Good evening, you guys. It is I, Samuel Carrillo's Movie Anime and Gaming Corner here, and tonight I'm going to be doing my new collection video that I got from my new one, and it's going to be my newest arrival I got today. It's my Sega Genesis collection, 2025 edition, this September 2025, and I'm just gonna lower my quiet right now because I don't want to be too loud because my dad and my mom is probably asleep right now, and including my new pickup from my two pickups from my Sega Genesis games I got, and yeah. So I don't want to be too loud and too that, man, and without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So here we go. Let's get started. First game we got for the newest game I picked from my last pickup video I got here is Vector Man 2 for the Sega Genesis. This game is definitely the all-time greatest Vector Man game on the Sega Genesis. Trust me, this version is way awesome, more superior controls, and way better gameplay than, the first Vector Man. But I'm probably going to get the first Vector Man at some point if I have the more money, but I'm going to get Vector Man, the first Vector Man next time, and I'm probably going to need Rise Star and the first 4 Phantasy Star game from Master System all the way to Sega Genesis. And the Shining Force games as well at some point. And Batman video game and Adventures of Batman and Robin and Mega Bomberman for the Sega Genesis, and the 2 Mighty Morphin Power Rangers games for the Genesis, and Aladdin for the Sega Genesis at some point, and Pinocchio if I find that. Very good deals. Trust me, this game is good. Highly recommend it. Good game. Next one we got Beauty and the Beast, Belle's Quest, the ultimate great game of all time. God, this game makes me difficult to beat. It's a princess game because I love anime, Disney and Disney princesses and baby shows and Blue's Clues as well, and anime and Adult Swim and MeTV Tunes. This game is good. Decent game. Next one we got one of my all-time favorite Disney video games alongside Aladdin and Toy Story and Pinocchio, and this is Disney's The Lion King for the Sega Genesis. The best of the best game I ever played. And I'm probably going to need to get this game on Super Nintendo and on original Game Boy someday soon. I know there is an original Game Boy version of The Lion King, which I do not have that yet, but I am planning on getting this game on original Game Boy and on Super Nintendo at some point, but we're going to have to see for those two, but we'll think about it. If the original Game Boy, The Lion King, is unplayable, I would rather stick with the Sega Genesis and Super Nintendo more. Anyways, next one we got Sonic the Hedgehog, one of my favorite Sonic games. The greatest game of all time. The greatest character when you see on after-school cartoons and afternoon shows like The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog from 1993 and Adventures of Teddy Ruxpin and whatnot. And trust me, this is the best game ever, along with Sonic Frontiers. I'm probably going to need Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and possibly we'll get Sonic 3D Blast on the Sega Genesis, but I heard the Sega Saturn version is superior, better than the Genesis one. This is the best game ever. Next is Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the greatest sequel of all time. One of my all-time favorite sequels, along with Sonic 3 and Sonic 3D Blast on the Sega Saturn. The best of the best, and includes Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, a puzzle game. like Kirby's Avalanche and Tetris and Pokemon Puzzle League. Very good. Next up, Jack um, James Buster Douglas Boxing for the Sega Genesis. Very, very good. The best game ever made. One of the all-time classic games on the Genesis. Trust me, this version's great. Way superior than the arcade game. From the arcade version. Games for the arcade with the coin doors. And there is also an arcade version of this game, though. But yeah, but this game reminds me of Punch-Out for the Nintendo, and Mike Tyson's Punch-Out for Nintendo, and Super Punch-Out for the Super Nintendo. Recommend this game. Next is Toy Story for the Sega Genesis. The ultimate classic game. One of my next favorite Disney games, along with Aladdin and The Lion King and Pinocchio. But this game is freaking difficult. But yeah, this is very, very hard. The greatest Toy Story game, because I saw the, and speaking of which, I saw the Toy Story 30th anniversary though, and I'm gonna be excited for that new Mario movie coming out this year, 2025. And not only that, I'm gonna go see the new Toy Story 5 and the new Mario movie and that new Mortal Kombat 2 and the new Cat in a Hat movie this year, 2026 edition. It's going to be coming to 2026. Anyways, let's get a move on. Next we got Animaniacs. Very, very good game. The best version on the Genesis. So, I also have this game on Super Nintendo, and I am going to plan on getting this game on Game Boy as well. But yeah, this is the much better version to play than the Super Nintendo and the Game Boy. Super Nintendo is also the greatest, second best version as well, but being the Game Boy, stay away from the Game Boy version. The Game Boy version is unplayable. Next up, Eternal Champions for the Sega Genesis. Very, very good. Fighting game of all time. I heard the Sega CD version is going to be superior, better than the Genesis one. The Genesis is good too. Next, we got Ariel, the Disney's Ariel Little Mermaid. Good game. Underrated. Sorry about that. Anyways, this is a good game. Another Disney princess game. And last but certainly not least, for the game cartridges before we go to the cases and once there, Madden NFL 96, the ultimate football game of all time. Great football game. Even you're not really into sports games, and you should give them a try. If you don't like sports games, then fine. But I'm okay with sports games, but I'm just not really into sports games though. But I'm more RPGs and fighting games, and includes anime games, and I'm more into first-person shooters like Duke Nukem and Doom, GoldenEye, and RPG games and Mario, Zelda, and Pokemon and whatnot. And includes Dragon Age. Trust me, they're good. Now we go for the games that are in cases now. But I'm going to need more of these soon. But if I would get another games I'm planning on getting coming up next as soon as I can. Games I'm going to look out to get. If I want to get Maximum Carnage, The Adventures of Batman and Robin, and Aladdin, Beavis and Butthead, and the Japanese Mega Drive imports, including Yu Yu Hakusho and Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball Z, and hopefully Street Fighter 2 Special Champion Edition, and Fatal Labyrinth for the Sega Genesis, and also Mortal Kombat's 1, 2, and 3 on the Sega Genesis, and WWF WrestleMania the arcade game, and I gotta think, and that's the more Genesis games I'm planning on getting. So, not wasting anyone's time. Let's go for this one. First, we got Madden NFL 97 for the Sega Genesis. Good game, but the Sega Saturn version and the PlayStation 1 is superior, the more better version to get. This is good. World Series Baseball, decent baseball game, but get the Sega Saturn version. The Sega Saturn version is so many times better. And here's a new one I got for a new pickup I got. This is Batman Forever for the Sega Genesis. This is the much better version to play than Super Nintendo and Game Boy. The best version for based off the 1995 movie Batman Forever, which I really do want to get that movie on VHS and Batman Forever on DVD and Blu-ray at some point, though. If I'm gonna get that. That team up as Batman and Robin. Yeah, Batman and Robin 1997 movie. I hate that movie. That's one of the worst Batman movies of all time from 1997, but a lot of people agree with that, especially me, because I mostly prefer the first three Batman movies, and it's got two-player action and amazing 3D control graphics. Much, much better game. Stay away from the Super Nintendo and original Game Boy versions. Batman Forever for Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis is unplayable. Get this game on the Sega Genesis. Way better version on the Sega Genesis. Now we got Joe Montana Football. Good game. Good football game. It's the greatest game ever made. With some sports titles I got. But like I said, I'm not really a big fan of sports games, but I still like them though. We got FIFA International Soccer for the Sega Genesis. Good too, but I love soccer now because I'm starting to do Special Olympics soccer again, along with Soar Tennis and Soar Softball 2026. Next up is Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, the greatest puzzle game of all time, ultimate game ever made, and this is based off of from the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog TV series, which I am planning on getting the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog TV series on VHS and DVD at some point, which I plan to have the more money for it, and the Teddy Ruxpin cartoon DVDs, which I do want to get that, and I really want to get the Heathcliff and the Cadillac Cats VHS and DVDs at some point if I have more money. Anyways, this is a very good, very, very good game. Next, Super Street Fighter 2, the new Challengers. A good game. Very, very good. Classic fighting game. You know, I love me some Street Fighter along with Mortal Kombat, Tekken, Dragon Ball, and Dragon Ball Z, and anime, and Digimon, Pokemon, and animes, and Disney, and baby shows, and Blue's Clues, and Angelina, Ballerina, and Adult Swim shows, and Rick and Morty, and more like that. It's good. Very, very good. Gonna get this game in my collection. And you can't have a Genesis without Street Fighter, you know? Next up, College Football USA 96. A good football game. It's a college game with sports titles because you could do multiplayers in this game too. 4-way to play it though. Good. And Madden NFL 95 for the Sega Genesis. Good game. Very, very good. One of my favorite Madden games alongside Madden 98 and Madden 2003 for that. This is the best of the Madden games. And last but certainly not least, we have Madden NFL 98 for the Sega Genesis. What can I say about this one? Get this game on PlayStation 1 and Sega Saturn. Those both versions were way better to play alongside Madden NFL 2003. And you know what's funny? Football games, they're not good anymore because all those football games are not very fun to play now because football video games used to be awesome, especially since my sixth generation of gaming of PS2, Nintendo GameCube, and Xbox, and they used to be awesome. But now, football games are not meant anymore because the old football games are better. And that about does it for my Sega Genesis collection. And tomorrow will be my Nintendo 64 collection and Super Nintendo collection tomorrow. And anyways, have a good night, guys, and see you tomorrow morning for more videos and anime out, guys. Have a great night, guys. Laters.